In a very busy, ever-changing society, we need to learn to take time, to be present, to reflect, and to be our true selves. My wish for all of you that this show gives you this. Welcome to Conversations with Claina. So you're very welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Claina. Now we're going to change it up a wee bit this week. I have my lovely friend, proprietor of Uptown Bibi, Mrs. Sinead Slane. Sinead, thank you so much for joining us here today.
You are very welcome. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, Sinead, right, this is going to be a wee bit different from anything we've done before. We're going to talk about fashion and the importance of fashion and the impact fashion can have on us as individuals, so us as ladies, okay? I know, personally speaking, how body shapes can change prior to children, during, carrying children, and after children in particular is the area that I suppose I faced it was a wee bit challenging, for the want of a better word. It was a wee bit challenging, but it was something I had to learn to embrace, something I had to learn to work at. Now, I'm sure you see that quite a lot in your shop. Would that be correct?
Yes, very much so. I think it all comes down to, I know we sort of can confuse fashion with style and what's the latest fashion trends and what everybody else is wearing. I tend to would try and encourage people to take it back to basics, as in, what is your personal style? What do you feel comfortable wearing? Doesn't matter what anybody else is wearing or what's the latest fad. Generally, fashion or trends tend to stay the same every season anyway. Prints may change. One colour might pop out and be at the forefront, but ultimately, if you take it to you and think about it and put the onus on you, what do I actually like? Because we never ask ourselves that question. We generally ask other people's opinion, which me and you would have talked a lot about too. And it's one of them things people will say, when you're asking an opinion of someone, you're almost asking for approval.
Yes,
so you're
absolutely
wanting to know, do you like this on me?
Yeah.
But if you ask yourself, which we actually probably don't do, it's like you're standing in the mirror and just genuinely say to yourself, how do I actually feel in this? Yeah. Does it suit me? Because I can tell you what I think will suit you, but ultimately what I think suits you, what I might think will look amazing on you, comes down to my personal taste also, which I'm sort of pushing on you, if that makes sense, or which I try not to do. I will encourage people and say, look, maybe try this or try that. I think that'd be lovely. But ultimately, how do you feel in it? Like, is your personality expressed through what you're wearing?
Yeah.
So body shapes and that there, it is a difficult one. I struggled too after all 3 children. And I think you do fall away from it because your focus is on something entirely different. It's not about you, it's about your child. So, ultimately, even work and our minds gets distracted and you can follow the wagon a wee bit with regards to what it is that you want. You know what I mean? So what I would say in that respect is just sit down, chill, and don't overthink it either. Go into a shop, even if you aren't buying or intending to buy, go just try on everything. And I would always say pick a wild card or pick a couple of wild cards, something you wouldn't necessarily pick in a million years. Because if you've never tried it, you'll never know.
Exactly.
So ultimately just have fun. Go on, try on a few different pieces, and you might actually find something and end up buying that you're not looking for.
You probably will. That'll be the day that you will find
Because when you're under pressure to buy something, that's almost like, it takes the fun out of it then, because you're under pressure, you're like, I need something. And sometimes you do make mistakes. We all make mistakes when we're buying stuff. You'll just take something for the sake of taking it. You're dressing for the occasion, not for you. And another thing too, which I try to get out as much as possible to people now, because I do hear it a lot and I'm guilty of it too. I'll go out and be like, oh, I've nowhere to wear, or I've nowhere to go, so I don't need anything. Whereas you're waiting for the invite to come in before you even think about dressing yourself.
Yes.
Which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, but it's bringing it back again to what is it you need and what do you want, and
exactly, yes.
what makes you feel good, and
What
just
makes
dressing
you feel
your
good?
personality.
I love it, dressing your personality, because you were the first shop I ever went into where the owner said, how do you feel? And I remember standing in front of that mirror going, I feel great. I feel like this is something I would never normally wear. I feel like this is out of my comfort zone. I'm not too sure if it suits my figure, but I feel great. And it was you that taught me how to embrace style, how to embrace fashion, not to fit in with the crowd, to be different and to show your personality through your fashion.
I tend to, we all have our own wee quirks if we let them come through. And another thing too, which I do hear a lot of, which is changing, like all ages shop in our shop now, which is brilliant. I had a girl in the other day and she was saying that like her mother, herself and her younger sister all have got stuff out of the shop, which is brilliant. I felt amazing for that because one of the things I'd always said too, don't let age define your style.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, obviously I'm not going to put somebody out in a micro mini that's my age or older, you know, and like, if you can wear it, why not?
Yeah,
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with not wearing it either or wearing it, but it's, you know, just pick what you feel like. I mean, I'm banties and leather leggings or jeans most of the time, but that's because I'm comfortable in that. Now, it mightn't necessarily, like I will dress for the occasion depending on, you know, what I feel like I need to or I want to wear, if that makes sense. But we all have our own wee quirks, just let them come through and, you know, dress it.
Dress it, yeah. Because after I had Hannah Marie, that was my first child, that's coming 9 years ago, I really struggled to go shopping, okay? Because there was wobbly bits places, there had never been wobbly bits before. And my shape had completely changed. And what did honestly happen was it did knock my confidence. So what would you suggest to people watching who struggle to adjust to their new body look just for the time being until maybe they have possibly more kids or they try to lose a wee bit of weight or maybe they're just happy and content in the weight they are? What would you recommend to them going out shopping?
Well, ultimately first, it's the conversation you're having with yourself, obviously about your body. Accept it, embrace it and tell yourself you look amazing because you do, and actually your body's amazing because you just produced a new baby, like, you know, you've brought life into the world. So that ultimately you need to give yourself a clap in the back for that. With regards to me telling you how amazing you are, this is now coming from you, what you have taught me, so I'm just telling you it back because I learned from the best. You have to tell yourself first, like I could stand and give you thousands of compliments, but if you ain't telling yourself that, it's just in deaf ears. You're not gonna, you know, yes, other people's sort of compliments does lift our confidence, but ultimately you're the one that's in your head 24/7, and the conversations you're having with yourself ultimately is going to reflect on the outside. Like, I mean, girls of all sizes in the shop, doesn't matter what size, top, bottom, whatever.
So what I have noticed over the years is that when I do go shopping, I have to go with 2, possibly 3 sizes to the dressing room, okay? So there could be a size 12, hasn't been that in a while, but it's coming, size 14, size 16, and even in some dresses I will have to even go up towards an 18 because of how broad I am in my back. So people, do you feel like people get too stuck on sizes?
Yes, very much so. If I could cut the labels off and just take items into the changing room and be like, that's perfect on you, because size does not matter. Like, you have girls all different shapes and sizes. Most of us are different shape on top and bottom, so 2 pieces work well because you can size up, size down, whatever. When you get the right fit, it shouldn't matter what numbers in the thing because you will look amazing. Yeah. You know, and the confidence will show. You will, it just connects. See, when the dress finds its perfect match, the smile, like I don't even have to ask how somebody feels, I just know by their expression. And ultimately, at the flip side, if somebody comes out and they're a wee bit like, you know, and I'll always say, how do you feel? Have you any doubts? And if there's doubts there, it's like, no, take it off. Yeah. Don't even try and talk yourself into it, because that's one of them pieces that you're going to wear once and hang in the wardrobe and you'll never put on you again. Any doubt at all, you can revisit it again. Maybe it's just something's not right, you're just not feeling the style, you know, but if there's something not totally right, it's just right next. Yeah. You know, you will find your perfect match. And if you don't find it today, you'll find it the next day.
Well, that's it.
But definitely, and we're all guilty of, you know what I mean, like we're not 100% confident 100% of the time.
Yes.
If you get 50%, that would be amazing. You know, so on different days, you don't know what's going on in your life, you're in and you're under pressure, you're looking for something, you're just not feeling it, you know, and obviously if you're not confident with certain parts of your body, getting the help to find the right pieces definitely helps. So to have somebody to have a wee ear to be like, maybe try this or try that, or no, we'll leave that because maybe it's just, you're just not ready to go down that route and try something that maybe you're not 100% confident or comfortable wearing, you know.
Well, your shop adds that personal touch. That's why I love going in, and that's why I am comfortable. Even the size that I currently am, that I can comfortably and very confidently go to your shop, because I know I'll always get something and I know it's going to fit, and it's going to fit well, and I'm going to feel good in it. But one thing I was taught growing up was, wear your clothes. What's the point working all these hours to go and buy clothes just to wear them once? So what do you think has happened in this social era where people feel they can only wear things once? and are too afraid to show it 2 or 3, well I'm not, but people are afraid to show it again online or can't be seen in that again. People I think have nothing to wear. Where do you think that comes from, or why has that
2 words, social media.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing. Do you know what? I have clothes in my wardrobe. Because I had sort of quirky, unusual sense of style, but that delves deep into my personality growing up. I would have used, and we all do it, we would have used clothes to express myself, because obviously there was other ways maybe I felt I couldn't express myself. I would have been quite timid, but confident enough I could have spoke to anybody. But for me, it was a self-expression. And I generally would have went down the route of wearing things that maybe nobody else would wear, but I would re-wear them. You know, whatever I was feeling that day, whether I want to wear a dress or I feel like it's just a pair of jeans and a tee, I'll rock it, and I don't care who sees me or what sees me, or if the 2 t-shirts worn 2 days apart, it's fine. But social media, the younger generation, obviously you have your fast fashion. I'm not going to name any like big retail multinationals, but you generally, people do associate a price tag with quality, which isn't generally always the right thing either, because you don't have to pay big bucks to get quality.
Yeah.
But the throwaway fashion generally on the cheaper side, yes, there's a lot of stuff that you might only get a couple of hours out of, and then it's like whatever. You're not valuing it. Whereas when you spend bigger on something, you might value it. But then on the other flip side of that, that'll hang in the wardrobe, because you know what, that was too dear to actually wear out on Saturday night. I need a wedding to wear that, or I need this, or I need that. So there's so many different elements to how we think, or how we've been programmed to think regards clothing. You always had your Sunday best that come out on a Sunday when we were children. One outfit every Sunday, and we didn't have an issue of re-wearing that.
Yes, I know.
You had one pair of good shoes.
But it is crazy how things change and things evolve. But it's more like the society in general, I suppose, that happens with. And then
but a lot of dresses, not like we would tell girls now, especially this season coming in, like even the summer midi dresses, not change it up, put a knit over the top of it, belt it, boots, tights, boots, whatever. Get wear out of it again. Like, you know, you could wear it a couple of different ways. You know, changing up your accessories, changing up whatever. I know print is very big at the minute, and colour, you know, because it's nice to have colour. I think if you're more neutral tones generally, it's still nice to have a mad colourful dress in the wardrobe just to put on. It's wow. You know, just because you do, like when you see somebody wearing something really out there, you're like, well, I know I would be almost like, oh my God, I really want to talk to that person to see what their story is, or because we do unannounced ourselves sometimes do wear what we're feeling or what we're maybe going through at that particular time in our life without realising it. But if you do put thought into it, then that is, you're starting to evolve your style and starting to pull pieces together. And if you go to your wardrobe, you'll find there is pieces there that'll all combine some way or other, be it a colour scheme or just a vibe, like maybe it's 70s vibe with your high-waisted flares, which I've quite a bit of over the years I've collected.
Well, do you
which always pull out, and they're deadly.
They do.
Pull out.
They absolutely do. And the other thing is too, I think sometimes what we need to do is to stand and look at our wardrobe and stand and look at what do I like wearing, what have I not worn a while, maybe a year or a couple of years, and to feel confident and comfortable enough to empty out our wardrobes and only put back in what we know we're going to wear, and that's nice in us, not these outfits I'm going to fit into it someday. Now, it's good to have those goals. It's good to have those targets. I feel that is very healthy, but I feel sometimes something that I was taught growing up was always have a good look at your wardrobe. Every season, clear it out. Get it all out onto the bed if you can, and only put back in what you know you're going to wear. And it's also like you're making room for new things, and you're not squeezing it all in going, oh my goodness, and then you wake up the next morning, I have nothing to wear.
And you have to iron it again. Once it's ironed, it goes in, it's like...
I know.
I would say definitely the one thing I have noticed, and I am so guilty of it, so I'm not going to preach to anybody about it. I don't change my wardrobe, and I haven't, but I have good intentions of doing it. But I will do it. I will get to it someday. I am a hoarder. I love vintage clothing. I collect, which then, in that respect, because I always see the value in it down the line, and it's something totally different that nobody has. There's one off it. Once you get that one, whether it fits or not, I'll make it fit. You have to cut it up and add pieces in. It's going to fit. But we all will wear the same. Like, oh my good God, I have about 10 pieces that I religiously wear, and everything else in the wardrobe does not get looking until someday I'm hooking for something, and I'm like,
there it is.
I did not realise I owned that. Actually, that'll come to the front, and then that'll be wore the life out of for about 6 months, and then it'll be like put to the side again.
And I think it's sometimes
but if you do go into your wardrobe, take a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever, and just go in and go through everything and be like, right,
Yeah.
I didn't realise I actually had that. And I'm sure there's plenty of pieces there that could be really well worn now and combined into what you have and mix and match.
Yeah.
And just make your own outfits.
And layer the looks.
Oh, I love layering. Definitely layering.
Because what you have done here today, so you could wear that dress with heels on a night out.
Yes.
And yet you could still wear it on a night out, how you've just layered it up and added the boots
just
with the
take
tights.
the tights, but the tan would need to be done.
We need to get the tan done.
Yes.
So it really is finding our own inner confidence and our own inner fashionista, right? Yes. So it's trying to learn to have fun with all of these things, right? So obviously fun comes from a wee bit of inner confidence. So how have you evolved over the years, you know, as you've went on your personal development journey to get you to where you are comfortable, you are confident, and you're embracing it?
Yeah. I think the first step, obviously through your classes, I have been an avid attender from day dot, however long ago that is. Everybody's always in a personal growing journey, and if you're not, it's good to get a mentor or read books or listen to podcasts, or, you know, because we're all evolving, whether we're in the direction we choose to be, or if we're in the direction that we're being pushed towards unbeknownst to ourselves, or maybe we're conscious of it. But for me personally, again, go back to childhood with clothes, do you remember catalogues?
Yes.
Like, I used to look at the catalogues and flick through them and be like, I want that. Now, this is one memory that sticks in my head. It was actually a pair of leopard print shorts, you know, the cycling shorts, right? And this like long t-shirt over the top, and I wanted it so badly, and I did eventually I got it in the sale in the winter. Like, I'd come in the winter because obviously it was in sale, and I put it on and I was standing there going, this is deadly, but I can't bloody wear it now, nobody will see me in it. And obviously I was only about 8 or 9, so come the summertime I was busting out of it, because I was quite a well-fed child. So, and I actually, I do hoard things. I remember clearing out the house after Daddy had passed away, not clearing it out, but just organising everything, and I would have kept a lot of stuff up in the attic and never dumped nothing, my house at the minute. But anyway, that's another story. And I come across them, I kept them. But I don't know if they're still there or not. I think there's been a couple of red outs since that, but I kept them because it was like...
Because they meant so... Yes, I get it.
And I don't know if it was the girl that was wearing them. Do you know that sometimes you're more maybe drawn because you see them, nice smile, lovely teeth, or the figure that you aspire to, and that's what sells it, which I'm not saying is a good thing either, but just this outfit, I just was like, I need that outfit. You know, so that for me, now my personal journey from that, I suppose, was one pivotal moment that just always stuck in my head. But I would have always felt that I would have dressed based on how I felt, if that makes sense. Whether it was the music I was listening to, I loved a lot of the older sort of style music. I wouldn't have been very much into what was top of the charts. Now, granted, I like pop. No, I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. Now, when Take That was high, big band in the 90s, I wasn't into them. I actually love them now. Do you know what I'm saying? They've evolved. I actually really like them now because they're part of an era. And I love looking back at eras. And band tees, that's my thing. Bob Dylan, I went out last night wearing a Bob Dylan tee. I'd actually bought it for Alana and she never wore it, so I took it back.
You took it back?
I took it back. I was like, that isn't appreciated, so I will take it back. But no, just whether it's the person or the individual as well, you know, a lot of, I suppose, singers and artists had difficult journeys. Everybody on the outside thought they had a really perfect existence, and they just work so hard and give us amazing music. And the words and the lyrics and that's what draws me. So therefore it's almost like my wee ode to them, going, well, you know what, I respect what you've done, and I think that is for me with my band tees and blazers. But going forward with dresses, not there. It took me a wee while longer to get into the whole dress thing. I was more jeans, jumpers, sportswear. It does, you grow, you do grow, but you have to try new things. Since I opened the shop, my style has changed drastically. It improved a lot, to be honest. I would have looked and wanted to wear things, but I say now, I didn't have the occasion. So I was like, why wait for the occasion? Put the dress on, go to the town, feel amazing, meet the girls for coffee, stick a nice dress on or nice pair of trousers and a top or whatever, because you do feel amazing.
You do.
Like,
And
see when you
embrace
get a whole new outfit and stand in front of the mirror, and I mean head to toe outfit, socks, underwear, the whole works. Everything. You feel really, the first wear is always the best. You just feel so refreshed.
Yeah,
and so,
it's like new pajamas. When you get new pajamas,
yeah,
you cannot wait to go to bed that night, and you'll even strip the bed sheets to make sure
we
you
had this
get into a clean
conversation last
bed.
night about new jammies, you know, the Christmas jammies, because when we were children, the house was cold. Like, there was no double glazing or none of that crack.
Yeah.
Now we've all these big fluffy jammies, and the heat will put you out of it. You can't wear them. You wear them to take photos and sit and watch TV, watch the Christmas movies, and then strip off to get into bed.
Well, it's so crazy just how things do evolve. But you as a person evolve, and what would be your advice to any young person watching, especially in particular the teenage group, because they nearly feel like I listened somewhere, I heard somewhere somebody saying they're carbon copies of each other, and it really made me feel sad because I felt, are they really, or is it only the people that you're seeing that are copying, or is it that awkward age that you just want to fit in, you don't want to be different?
But we all want, I know what that feels like. Even in our generation, we didn't have social media, but like, you do want to be accepted.
You do.
And and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I mean, everybody wants to be part of something. Like, going back even to the playground with children, you know, if somebody had a certain pair of shoes, you want them because you feel like, you know, it's the same as marketing and selling stuff. Like, you put some very respected, influential person that has been really successful in life and put them on a jumper or a pair of shoes or a certain bag, you are drawn to buying that because you sort of associate that with them, which isn't, it's good, like, it's good in a way, but it's also bad because if you don't know who you are yourself, then you do get lost along the way somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think from a young age, definitely I would advise to take a bit of time to yourself. Don't necessarily go with the flow, and don't be afraid to take a step back and go, actually, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm not feeling it. And personal growth is what has got me to where I am now, especially with you, that my journey started with you, and everything else sort of evolved from that. And you're never too young or too old to make a change or to take that big step into the unknown and just make your own decisions. And you have to decide. Until you make the decision to do something, you ain't going to do it. You might talk about it. I talked about it for years, but ultimately you helped me make the decision, and then, you know, here we are today.
And here we are today.
Only halfway through the journey. There's still a lot more to come.
Well, that's it. We've got the rest of our lives. Sinead, this has just been unbelievable. Such powerful words there at the end. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
It has been an honour, and I really know and I really hope for anyone watching here today that you will get some great advice. Thank you so much to Sinead, to our production team, and for this episode's sponsor.